Asset management is basically a coordinated effort of events that manage equipment. And if you can manage that equipment to its full life cycle, then you get the most out of it. You get the most ROI. The objective is basically its equipment design intent and then making sure that it lasts as long as it's supposed to.
Hello world, welcome to Asset Management Visionaries Shaping Tomorrow. Maura Abad here in a new episode, a new adventure under the Association of Asset Management Professionals. Today we have a treat for you. We have someone special, someone that I know for over 10 years now, a great person, professional, and an author. Welcome, Michael Guns. Mike, such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me. This is going to be pretty cool.
It's going to be great. Tell the world, who is Michael Guns?
A very humble guy, but I came up through the trades. I started my career as an electrician, came through the asset management world via the University of Delaware, and kind of molded myself into somebody that I could be, a proponent of change and fundamentals. And now I just kind of, wrote this book so that I could be a management of change for everybody else and give something back to the community.
Yes, and tell us about your book, The Views from the Field. I know that I have seen it. I am reading it, so you know. But tell the audience, what is the book about?
It's about maintenance management strategies and fundamentals about like what maintenance and reliability really is. When I came into the maintenance world, I came from the field. So construction's a little different than actual maintenance and reliability. You actually build stuff in the construction world, whereas in maintenance, you're maintaining that equipment, for its design purpose. So as I was kind of coming into that and being a supervisor of those type of folks, there really wasn't a lot of resources out there that kind of focused in on that as, a person from the field. So I was hoping that this would be like that catapult for that.
Yeah, so basically the book will be beneficial for all of us.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it kind of resonates with everybody, not just the field folks, but also the CEOs and CIOs, to get a better perspective on like how people actually do work.
Yes, and that's what I felt when I have been reading. It's an accelerator, and it's showing the benefits, why we should understand the perspective from the field.
Yeah, I mean, they're the people that actually do the work. They're the subject matter experts and know how that equipment operates on a day-to-day basis. We're starting to talk about AI and learning engines and getting that information from them so that supports that. That's what this is all about.
Throughout the time that I have met you, I've always seen you attending different events, getting involved in the community. Tell us, why do you do that? Continuous learning. I love that about you.
I am huge on just trying to get to the next step in my evolution as a person. I like to learn. I like to teach. But the community itself and what we do with it, it needs people like us to be, that have that spark and kind of drive people to new things that they wouldn't have already thought about.
So one call to action already, if you want to have some people out there that might be, I'm hesitating to share a little bit of what I know, what would you tell them?
If you come to events like this, immerse yourself, have some fun, get on the game, get ribbons. Talk to more people. The more you network, the more you get ideas that you wouldn't have already had. You might learn something about somebody that is from a completely different country that does things differently than what we do.
That's right. And the perspective, and that is asset management. In your view, what is asset management?
Asset management is basically a coordinated effort of events that manage equipment. And if you can manage that equipment to its full life cycle, then you get the most out of it. You get the most ROI. The objective is basically its equipment design intent and then making sure that it lasts as long as it's supposed to. If you don't, then you have early failures and it costs you more money.
What do you think are the challenges out there with asset management?
Getting people to understand that it's a collaborative community. A lot of people, you don't know what you don't know kind of thing. But I also see some folks not getting back to the fundamentals. They're so far ahead in their journeys or so far ahead in their management styles that they don't think about the things that got them there or come back to it so that they can improve upon that.
So basically back to basics, reinforcing the concepts, and even though coming back again.
Right. And that continuous improvement model, because even though you go back to the basics, you might find little things about your processes and procedures that can improve the way you do things.
Let's talk about knowledge. People are walking away, right? What would you say to the new workforce coming along?
Be the management of change. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. I'll talk about it a little bit in some of the ways that I express it to people, that you need to be a focus on managing up. Let the managers know, let the supervisors know, let your C-suite know. Hey, I'm seeing this kind of trend, or I'm seeing these things happening. I can help if you give me the chance, and you'll get more buy-in from your folks if you do that.
Definitely, and getting that buy-in and digitalization is an important piece in asset management. I know you're very involved in digitalization activities. Tell us a little bit, how do you see the perspective, digitalization and asset management?
It's huge because now we can put that information right into our CMMS and have it readily accessible to the technician's fingers. Using an AI engine to discuss whether or not this should be PM'd or how it should be PM'd. I'm seeing this failure. What can I do to fix it? That's important because now we can be more efficient in what we're doing. So, it's a key piece for us to drive that continuous improvement model, understand how people think, and kind of react.
Tell us about your certifications. You are a proud certified reliability leader.
Yeah, I have my CRL, I have my CMRP, and my CEFP. That's the Educational Facilities Practitioner. I'm also IBM Maximo certified for various things there. Like I said, just a continuous learner. I love to, it's not about the accolades, it's about me progressing myself as a person, but also sharing that knowledge with the community at large, because, like I said, people don't know certain things, and, if I can help them get that way, it just makes it that much better.
Definitely. Tell us a little bit about the aspect of certified reliability leader. What changed prior and then when you obtained the certification?
Before it was, how do we identify the best ways to do things? When I took the CRL, I started understanding, while I was studying, the different ways that we could kind of mold things together, and the uptime elements kind of gave it that pathway where we didn't have it before. And then after I got the CRL, folks started listening a little bit more. Certifications kind of help with that. But now I had a little bit more strength in myself to speak out and say, this is the kind of thing that we need to do and how we need to do it. So I think that helped me, grow in that aspect. But not only that, but give us strategies that we could kind of focus on.
Yes, and I like what you said, right? It starts at the end with oneself.
Right.
Managing oneself, understanding oneself. There is a term that we might use, and some people might say, we have always done it that way. It's a little scary, right?
I cringe when I hear
that. How can you overcome that thinking?
A lot of times when I hear somebody say that's the way we've always done it, I usually say that doesn't make it right. But I also come back with, if we do certain things a little bit differently, I can get more people to support what we need to do, or I can find ways for us to save money on a budget, or I can identify ways that you can learn from what we're doing. So it doesn't always have to be the same way all the time. New people come into the trade all the time. New people come into the maintenance and reliability world all the time. My way is only one way. There's many other ways out there that we could collaborate on and make things better.
I also want to say thank you for your support with the group of women in reliability and asset management. I know you're always spreading the word. Tell us about the relationship between diversity and asset management.
It's key. I mean, getting ladies involved in what we do in what seems to be a male-dominated kind of avenue. It's growing, and it's growing rapidly. We're focusing in on different ways that, ladies kind of get information in, and sometimes they think better than we do. So, I like the aspects of how you guys are working together to try and make the community a larger part of what we do in maintenance and reliability, and, just keeping us on our toes.
And sustainability, are you having an impact in that sustainability piece?
Very much so. Trying to, use the AI engines and, some of the digital twin modeling and a few other things. We get into sustainability because we're trying to save the environment. So, how is it that we're recuperating those assets once they're failed or once we take them out of service? What are we doing with that? ESG reporting is coming up pretty soon, and we're going to have to start marketing that a little bit differently and reporting on that stuff. So, we need to get those steps involved.
In your personal opinion, how do you see the evolution of asset management, let's say 5 years from now?
I think it's going to be very different. With all the different things that we're doing with computerization, digitalization, AI learning from things. Some of my friends and I talk about, it's Skylab, it's coming to get us. It's not really. It's just a tool to help us be better at what we do. So as that market gets better, it's just going to increase our knowledge base about what we do and how we do it to support us better and give us ready access things.
Call to action for the audience that might be hesitating regarding technology use?
Don't be afraid. You can't be afraid. Everybody uses their phone every day. If you can get on Facebook, you can ask a chatbot what you need to do. If you use your phone to call your mom and dad and you use the screen to talk to them. My daughter does it to me all the time. She FaceTimes me all the time. That's all part of it, I said this earlier today, but be the element of change. Be the person that steps up. Be the person that wants to try new things. You're just going to grow as a person, but it's also going to help everybody else around you and feel like they're part of that system.
Tell us, for you, what is your concept of leadership?
That's a good one. So as a leader, I want to listen first. And I tell folks that if they're in that kind of supervisory role, that's what they should be doing. You shouldn't talk first as a supervisor. As a leader, I want to understand what's going on around me so that I can make informed decisions, but also so I can see the relationship that they want to have in what we do. If you focus in on that, then they're more apt to giving you their opinions and understanding what's going on. And sometimes you have to be a little empathetic about what's going on in their life so that they can understand how to do their work better.
Yeah, and they're saying that the future of leadership is an empathetic leader. Tell us a little bit about the empathy. Do you see a little bit around in the field?
Yeah, we still have that dichotomy of the old school boys. It's guys that are coming up through really think like the new guys don't know what they're doing. And, to a point, there are some folks out there that are green. But the idea of listening in and understanding what they're going through. Some of them might be in school. Some of them might understand things a little differently than you do. If you can listen in on what is kind of stressing them, 9 times out of 10, you'll be better for it, because then you can kind of gauge what to do around them to support them better.
Definitely. Tell us now your projects, perhaps from now in 5 years. How do you see yourself? More books coming along the pipeline? Any topic in particular you want to share with us?
Yeah, so at one of the previous conferences, I got kind of told that I need to do a planning and scheduling book.
Wow.
That's a passion of mine.
Yes.
I love the fact that I have that knowledge base to help people kind of focus their work in a little bit better. So I'm starting to work on that now. In 5 or 10 years, I want I want to be that management of change. Like I want to be that focal point that, somebody says, I know Mike, he'll be able to help us. And I hope that's the case now, but later on in my career, I want to be able to be that, that person that somebody can come to and actually feel like they can talk to them about what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. Planning and scheduling is your passion.
Mm-hmm.
Why is your passion, and any words of wisdom for people that are into that field?
I always say that the most valuable commodity that we have is time. If you can manage your time the best way possible, planning and scheduling your work, even planning and scheduling your day to understand like where you're going. I had a hiccup this week, as a matter of fact, just because I didn't place things in the right spot. That helps you kind of move through life. Doesn't matter if it's in the maintenance world, our general life is that way. So if you can plan your work and work your plan, everything kind of works itself out in that strategy.
I love that. Talk to us a little bit about key performance indicators and what you're seeing out there.
A lot of it's just, everybody's data driven. How many times have I seen this particular thing happen? With the AI situation that we have, is my AI actually spitting out the right information it's supposed to? How's my learning model going? Those are some things that I think people aren't focused on yet, but if they start looking at it from that perspective and kind of like retooling if they need to, that I think will help kind of guide that path a little bit better.
Any advice on retention of personnel?
Yeah, teach your folks training. Even if they think they don't need the training, make it fun for them. Challenge them. I've done it where I've actually had different shops competing against each other. Not necessarily to be better, but they didn't want to be left behind. When you have that competitive edge, or when you have that competitive nature within not only your work group, but in life too, it makes you better at what you do. It makes you a better person, but it also makes you a better worker because you're trying to make everybody the same.
Yeah, all working together as a synergetic team, asset management.
Yep.
Definitely. Call to action for everybody at the end on asset management.
Read my book. No, and I say it over and over again, but be that person that someone can come to and talk to. Not necessarily for the feel-good moments, but be open to expression. Be open to different ways of thinking. Align yourself with those folks that are strong in that, because now it'll just kind of rub off on you. And if you do that, it's going to make things smooth.
Definitely, that approachability and that communication. Mike, thank you very much for sharing your expertise. I know for sure we're going to have you again. You have so much to share. And with all the books that Mike will write with planning and scheduling and many more to come, we will definitely have him back for an interview. All the best to you, and thank you for listening. Asset Management Visionaries Shaping Tomorrow. Remember, we are here with you every step of the way. And remember to smile. We'll see you soon.